Hi, my name's Mara. I'm a 7th grade math teacher in Philadelphia. I've been teaching for 27 years, but for the past 15 years, I've been in middle school. Differentiation and education is different for everybody, depending on where you teach, what grade you teach. It all has a part in it. So with me, my professional setting is 7th grade urban education. In my situation, everyone needs to be differentiated in some manner. Now, it doesn't just have to be a written differentiation. It could be verbal, perhaps taking a test verbally instead of writing it down. But 3 things I got from our readings: evaluation, basically testing. I do this all the time. It's a very good way to be fair and unbiased using rubrics. If you use a rubric, which I do a scale from 1 to 4, because that's what we use in our standardized tests, so the kids get used to seeing 1 through 4. Also, it's not all cut and dry. This is right, this is wrong. You can still get points if your total answer isn't correct. If you have the right thought process, if you're almost there, you can still get credit. So that works for my kids, and I'm sure it will work for a lot of other children. Another way I like is scaffolding, and basically that's tiering your content. Everything should lead into the next thing. So, for example, we do a program called Illustrative Math, and it's really good at scaffolding. So right now, Unit 1 was scaling. We all know how to scale. Scaling up, you multiply. Scaling down, you divide. But then Unit 2 introduced them to ratios, equivalent and equivalent fractions, which then turned into proportional relationships, that turned into graphing. And then Unit 3 is going to be unit rate. And all of that, I tell them it's like a sandwich. You're just adding another layer. And we also, our programs do it, that it also scaffolds from grade to grade with the standards. So if a child is not making a standard on the 7th grade level, we can take it down a couple and then bring it back up when they're ready. Another big thing that people don't understand, you can't teach a class. You can't differentiate if you don't have a good climate in your classroom, behavior management. If you don't have a solid system in your classroom, it's not going to work. If you can't teach them, you need a conducive learning environment. So having a set behavior management program. Mine's kind of set, 27 years, it better be. But that really helps kids. And I have learned that kids crave structure because some of them don't get it at home. One specific program I love is called CT3. You should really look into it. It's called No Nonsense Nurturing. It's how you compliment the kids doing the right things, and you'd be surprised at how all the kids not doing the right thing want to be, and they sit up and they're like, oh, I want you to say that to me too. And that's called CT3. So if anybody's watching this and you're having some trouble with your classroom management, I advise you to get trained in CT3. It's really a great program. So engagement. I don't have a problem with engagement unless I'm having a bad day. But for some reason, my kids like me. And that goes with positive relationships. If you have a positive relationship with your students, they'll come to school. That increases attendance. They don't dread coming. So my homeroom. So the one thing I always tell my kids, meaning my students, I treat you like I treat my own. I really believe I became a better teacher when I became a mother. Because then you start to realize, oh no, they're still kids. I may have a 6'3", 12-year-old, but he's still 12. So positive relationships are huge in engagement. Another thing for engagement would be active discovery, like conceptual learning. I don't know about you, but I don't like being talked at. And a lot of kids are not auditory learners at this point in time. So the more they can interact with each other, whether it's ask three before me and they're doing a discovery in a group, it really makes a difference in their learning. Conceptual learning works more, I would say, in under 6th grade. Active learning is more 6th and above. More mature learners that you can actually say, okay, you 4, what do you think about this problem? Go hash it out and see what happens. You'd be surprised and amazed at what these kids do. So they're just some things. And I did hear in one of the videos about the 4 corners, which was of a very engaged school, would be positive relationships in one corner, organization and procedures and rules in another corner, culture of thinking and learning in another corner, and then the final phase, which we would all love to have, is a love of learning. Once the kids learn to like learning, they will grow. They will do better. They will be more confident. And they're only going to love learning when they love coming to school. And you are a big part of that. So I truly believe with this differentiation and this engagement, differentiation is going to take some practice. You all got this. Engagement, positive relationships, that's the key. Definitely the key. Asking them how their morning is. Ask them how their weekend was. How's your mom doing? Anything like that. They need to see you as a person. And then you'll watch them soar. I'm really enjoying your class. And thanks so much for having me do this video.